So now it's time to move on to the International Speech Contest. The contest chair is a chartered accountant working with Qatar Petroleum. He is a current VPPR of Indian Club Toastmasters, and this year he struck a hat-trick by winning the District 20 Best Flyer Award 3 times in a row. So please welcome the High Flyer of Indian Club Toastmasters, Toastmaster Muhammad Ibrahim.
Dignified dignitaries, sagacious panel of judges, and eloquent Toastmasters, a very good morning.
Good morning.
Sharing an inspiration story, instilling confidence, multiplying motivation, urging to take a call, leaving indelible imprints on our heart and enlightening minds. And all this for making this world a better working place. That's what international speeches are all about. And with this, I would like to welcome you all to Harmony, Division H 2018 International Speech Contest. Let me give a brief description on the contest rule for everyone's benefit. The contestants select their own subject or topic and must be substantially original. 25% or less of the speech may be devoted to quoting, paraphrasing, or referencing another person's ideas or works. The contestants have been briefed and the speaking order has been decided by way of law. Speaking area for today's contest is this stage. The contestants shall speak for 5 to 7 minutes. The green light shall be turned out on at 5 minutes, the amber light at 6 minutes, and the red light at 7 minutes. The red light shall remain lighted until the speaker finishes. A contestant shall be disqualified if he speaks for less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds, or for 7 minutes, or for more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. In case of any power failure or glitch of the timing device, the timer shall use color cards. Speaker shall be given an additional 30 seconds. The winner from today's international speech contest will represent Division H in district contest. Protests may be allowed, but only on the question of eligibility and originality. And such protests may be submitted by any contestant and any other judges before the announcement of the winners. Such protests shall be reviewed and decided by the Chief Judge and panel of judges, and their decision shall be final. Expect the unexpected. Toastmaster Nisham.
It was in the year 2014, in the month of June. When I entered the office, I noticed an envelope on my table. My heart skipped a beat. My eyes can't believe it. In spite of a bright sunny day, I felt darkness all around. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, good morning.
Good morning.
We all face setbacks in life. Setbacks can be in our personal life or professional life. For me, I have faced a bitter setback in the form of a letter that was a termination letter. I have been fired. The company I was working for past 10 years have decided to terminate me. The place I consider as my second home has decided to throw me out ruthlessly. Everyone was asking for a reason. I heard people saying maybe because of the financial crisis. Or it can be the employees. They want to cut down the employees. But in my case, it was none of them. It was the result of a conspiracy, a sheer office politics, and I became the scapegoat. I lost my job. I was totally distorted because it was my tiny salary, the only source of income for my family. Like any layman, hundreds of thoughts were coming in my mind about the uncertain future. With a heavy heart, I went to my friend. Without uttering a word, I hand over him the letter. What is this? I have been terminated. So what's your future? Munir, I have no idea. I'm feeling so lonely and I'm lost. Nisha, look at me. Since our friendship, I have considered you as a very confident person and a person who have a clear vision about the future and who have a better dream. Now don't change my perception about you. I was speechless. He snatched the paper from me. He tore it and threw it and said, "This is not the end of your life. This tiny paper cannot write the destiny of your life. I know you are the person who are talking big about people who have faced adversities in their life and become successful in life. Yes, it's our friends who listen to the song of our heart and sing it back to us when even we forget the lines." He pacified me and he gave me the courage to move on with life. He said, maybe they stop your salary, maybe they stop your job, but they cannot take away the talent from you. They cannot take away the experience from you, and they cannot steal the dreams from you. And I have decided to pursue my dream. And today, being a successful entrepreneur, when I look back, I think that inevitable setback came to me, not just like that. It has come with a clear determination, and I believe it is the God's plan for me to have a better life and a better career. But I came to know about the people who have behind the conspiracy. I am not going to leave them. Even though they have a very bad intention, it turned out to be good. But being a human being, I also want to take some revenge on them. I'm taking revenge on them every day by sending selfies at 8 a.m. in the morning, in the bed. I take them selfies with my kids in the park on a weekday at 4 p.m. with my kids relaxing. I post all the pictures in my Facebook of my foreign trip or small success which I make, I post in the Facebook. You know what happened? 2 of them quit Facebook. 1 of them unfriend me. But I'm not going to leave them. I started tagging all the other friends just to make sure that they're seeing my updates. So friends, adversities come into your life. As William Arthur once said, adversities cause some men to break, others to break record. I want you to be in that category of people who want to break the records. If you are not facing any problem in life, remember what the great gentleman said. If you are not facing a problem in your life, you are traveling in the wrong direction. So dear friends, when your life is in trouble, when your future is uncertain, be confident. Because maybe you cannot control all the things which happen to you, but it's your attitude which determines how you face it and how you move forward. Remember, when God pushes you into difficulties, 2 things will happen. Either He will catch you down, or you will learn to fly off the contest chair.
Hello, beautiful. Toastmaster Rajni Nare.
How many of you have been told that you are not beautiful, that you are not tall enough, slim enough, fair enough? Not many lucky people. I was often told, Rajni looks exactly like her dad. But poor soul, she did not get her dad's color. Contest chair and my dear beautiful people, good morning.
Good morning.
My mom, dad, brothers and aunts are all fair-skinned. I am literally the dark sheep of my family. My aunts often said, Rajni, don't go out in the sun. Rajni, don't go swimming. According to my aunts, the chlorine kills only my dark skin and not the bacteria in the water. They would say, Rajni, we have a wedding to attend next month. Is this the way you are going to present yourself? I wondered, what does my skin color have to do with someone else's wedding? I wanted to tell the world I am dark without apology. During my college days, my friends often suggested, Rajni, why don't you use fairness creams? They will make your whitish skin look fair. I was surprised. Am I a piece of dull cloth that needs to be bleached? They continued, you need to use fairness creams at least twice a day. Twice a day? Are fairness creams as important as toothpaste? Only when I was at a marriageable age, I understood people's obsession with light skin color. Every matrimonial ad read, want a fair, good-looking girl. I was aghast. Is fairness a prerequisite for a marriage? Is it an asset, a virtue, a merit? If so, then I can never get married. I thought, good riddance, freedom for life. But then, love happens. I did find my guy, a typical Mills and Boons man, tall, dark, and handsome. I was happy to go into a family which was extremely broad-minded. Or so I thought. Until one day, during a very casual banter, my mom-in-law very sweetly said, Rajni, I actually wanted a fair daughter-in-law who would blush like a red rose. I looked at my dark husband with a smile and wondered, why would my mom-in-law want pieces of chess in her house? Black versus white? My husband was surprised to see me smiling. Later that night, he asked me, honey, didn't my mom's words hurt you today? I said, no, not at all. All thanks to my granny up there. This takes me back to the day when I happily tagged along with my granny to attend a wedding. There, one of her friends looked at me and said, Rajni is good looking, but poor soul, she's so dark. That night, as I snuggled up to my granny with a lump in my throat, she told me a wonderful story. My dear child, once there was a balloon seller selling balloons on a beach. A little boy runs up to him to buy one. The seller shows him the colors and asked him to select one. The little boy looked at them and said, Uncle, which one will fly higher, the black one or the white one? I still remember the day, the smile and the warmth in my granny's eyes as she said, child, the color does not matter. It is what is inside the balloon that is going to make it fly high. My granny's words reverberate in my ears even today. No dark comments have ever hurt me after that. Not that the comments ever stopped. Times have changed, but our obsession with fairness still remains. Only that now it has engulfed the male sector too. Now men want to look fair and handsome like Shah Rukh Khan and Brad Pitt. But I am glad, at least on this ground, both men and women are equal. We are fighting the same demons. Dear friends, it really does not matter whether you are dark, fair, or whitish in color. Each one of us is attractive in our own way. I am proud to say I am dark, dripping melanin and honey. Ladies, all of you are charming for the sparkle in your eyes when you love and nurture others. Gentlemen, all of you are handsome. Doesn't matter if you are pot-bellied or bald. You are macho for the way you care and provide for others. We are all angelic deep down into our souls. So, my dear friends, every morning let us look at our reflection in the mirror and say, "Hello, beautiful." Contest chair.
The choice, Toastmaster Anupama.
Last week, I was in India, attending a wedding. Throughout the ceremony, all I talked about was Toastmasters. I was bombarded with so many queries and questions, I had to answer them all. But one question struck a chord with me. My uncle walked up to me and said, "Anu, tell me one thing. Why Toastmasters?" I immediately answered, "Uncle, Toastmasters is my passion. This is the learning platform which makes me better, which makes me happy. And because this is my choice." How many of you agree with my answer? Wow, then it seems I am right. Contest chair, panel of judges, and my dear friends, good morning.
Good morning.
Oxford Dictionary defines choice as an act of choosing between two possibilities. But in real life, is it that simple? It was in the early days of my marriage when I was struggling to be a cook. Now I knew how to eat, but cooking was not my forte. And to my karma, my mother-in-law was a fantabulous cook. A new bride does not really want to hear one thing from the husband. "Anu, this is good, but my mother makes it much better. Why don't you give her a call?" And trust me, I got this every time I tried on something new. I vividly remember it was my husband's birthday, and I wanted to surprise him with his favorite, the bitter gourd. How hard could it be? But I didn't know that this is one vegetable even the seasoned cook refrains from. But I was in love. So, by the end of that evening, I did make something out of this. Those days, we didn't have Google Mother or the YouTube Father to guide us. It was all in the imagination. I waited for my husband to come home. He came and we sat down to have dinner. I took the dish with a smile, put it in front of him. He refused to recognize it. He was clueless. But then I said, take the challenge. Introduce them. Uday Kumar, this is bitter gourd. Bitter gourd, this is Uday Kumar. That day, Uday Kumar did all the right things. He did not even mention his mother for once. But then, in my heart, I knew I had a long way to go. I had to learn. I was hurt. It was about 2 weeks after that incident, my husband came home with a smile. He had a package in his hand, a red color envelope. He said, Anu, take this. This is for you. This is from my mother. From his mother? Okay. I took the envelope, opened it, took out the pages. I was very apprehensive about it. But then, there were 32 handwritten recipes by her. And in that included were 4 of her best bitter gourd recipes. For a minute, I felt hurt. Betrayed by my husband. He went and confided his mother. I wanted to tear the envelope into pieces and put it in the dustbin. But then, something stopped me. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some poignant moments in your life which go on to define you, which go on to shape you. And this was one such moment for me. I had the choice to be bitter about this and make a whole new mess out of my life, or to be better, right? The ability to learn, now that's a skill. But the willingness to learn, ladies and gentlemen, that's a choice. Today, you see me, a confident lady standing in front of you with a smile, happy, giving her speech on this platform. I'm willing to learn because this is my choice. What's yours? Contest chair.
Man. In a jiffy, my bubbly moments was punctured. Nelson's typical other response was, lousy, it's not my day. Don't ask me, Ravi. That meant I was in for trouble. More often than not, you would follow it up with a lament, a sad story. My day would become sad too. Call it Nelson effect. But my responses used to be better than those of Nelson. It's okay. Nothing special. Nothing to write home about. My responses were not quite negative, but they were lackluster, lackadaisical, and lethargic. Once I came home, dead tired, after a hard day at work. As I entered, littering the shining floor with my soiled boots and stinking socks, I sank into the couch. My wife Nitya greeted me with a smile. Hi, how are you? How's your day? Without even thinking, I said, nothing special. Get me a coffee. There was a mini explosion inside the kitchen. Falling utensils and flying saucers. Ravi, I really hate people like you who can't find a single positive thing the entire day. What do you know about office stress? In kitchen goes your entire life. Don't forget, that's where I keep the knife. That was just the beginning. What he followed. And the conclusion had a powerful punch. But to be fair, it was I who started at first with my reckless, mediocre response for her lovely greeting. Fast forward, 2010, my South African colleague Robert Butchell joined Qatar Petroleum. Whenever anyone greeted Robert, how are you, how's your day? He responds then, fantastic. It's another beautiful day in paradise. Wow! That was a big difference between negative Nelson and my mediocrity. Every morning we got an energy booster from Robert, the rooster. With the time it became a ritual for most of us to hear those words almost daily. Believe me, people who missed to meet Robert would call him on the phone just to hear those words. People use powerful words like Robert have a spring in their step. And their positivity rubs on all those who come in contact with them. In fact, Robert's rousing response radically transformed me too. My refined response has become super, fantastic, excellent, terrific. I am on top of the world. These are not my words, but my positive attitude propelled. The more I say terrific, the more I actually feel terrific. Robert has now gone back to South Africa. But his words have been cast in stone in Qatar Petroleum Refinery, and they linger in the hearts of the people he touched. My day was never better before. You know who says this time? Negative Nelson. It's very true, my friends. Our day goes by the way the corners of our mouth turn. In the end, our words are our self-fulfilling prophecy. Dear friends, the choices are in front of you. Feel it yourself and do it yourself. An addiction, a valuable addition. I urge you all to try it by yourself. Next time anyone greets, how are you? How is your day? Tell them that you feel great or terrific. Express the energy and enthusiasm. Say it with a smile and sparkle in your eyes. It doesn't really matter whether you feel terrific or not that moment. Sometimes in life, you need to fake it to make it. Dear friends, how are you? You all have a spring in your steps, and you too.
Alive or living? Sebastian.
In one word, if I was to ask you what life means to you. Anyone? But the great thinker, speaker, and musician, Sebastian, no, not me, Sebastian Bach of Germany in the 17th century once said, life on its own means nothing. But it's one of the greatest opportunities you and I have to create a meaning. My own perspective about life changed completely the day I visited a home for the old and aged. How many of you present here today would like to spend the last days of your life in one such home? You must be bringing up some very good children, eh? Be nice to them because they will determine where you'll spend the last days of your life. When I visited that home, I found an old man lying on the floor reading a thick book on cookery. I stooped down to him and asked him, "Sir, is there anything I can do for you?" With a very smile, he said to me, "I would love to wear a chef's uniform and cook in a 5-star hotel just for one day before I die." Surely that can be arranged. And I moved on further. I came across a beautiful old woman. She was humming to herself that famous tune, "Dover dear, a female dear." Her too I asked the same question. And she said to me, "Son, twinkle in her eye, I would love to play the grand piano to my heart's content once before I pass through this world." Connoisseur and friends, here were two highly successful people in their career life. Mr. Gonzalez was a new and appointed scientist, and his findings had gone to help humankind across the globe. Mrs. Wadia was a top-notch CEO with the company, and she was a much sought-after person during her time. So why did they ask for such a meager request at the fag end of their lives? It was because their parents had chosen their careers for them. Mr. Gonzalez wanted to be a chef. Mrs. Wadia wanted to be a musician. But their aspirations were murdered by their parents. How many of you are actually living your childhood dreams? Let me see hands. Not many. You think you'll have another chance in this lifetime? Do that? It all starts at the age of 5, when little Jane comes home and her mother chides her. "Why didn't you get that star Rebecca got in class today?" Or an 8-year-old boy who's been yelled at as his father, "You better get your grades up, son, or you're going to be a good for nothing in life." Or a 14-year-old troubled teenager, he's being pressurized, "Get your percentage up, to get a seat in the medical lorry won't allow me to do that. Sometimes I do dismantle my car, but I have to call the mechanic to fix it. Friends, a lot of water passes under a bridge in a lifetime. Spoil yourself sometimes. You work very hard for it. Go on that world cruise. Ski down a snow-capped mountain. Do that bungee jump you wanted to do when you're able. Are you waiting for somebody to take you in a wheelchair? Live a magnanimous life. I would say die poor, but don't die rich and miserable. Share your riches with the needy and the deserving. Share your rich thoughts. Share your rich ideas. Don't take them with you when you're going. The world needs it, not the graveyard. Strive always not to make your presence noticed, but work toward making your absence felt, so that when it's time to go through the pearly gates, everyone around you is crying, and you're the only one smiling. Smiling because you have lived a life of fulfillment. You've lived your life on your own terms. My wife and I have even enrolled in an old age home, because someday if we have to go there, we will be going there on our own terms, not in mercy of our children. Ask yourself today, am I living my life, or am I simply alive? Yeah. Am I just being alive, or am I actually living my life? Contest chair, let's live our life.
A special kind of magic, Rashid.
By a show of hands, who here considers himself lucky and blessed to have at least one true friend in their life? The story of how I met a few of mine started with a voice from the corner over 20 years ago today. Look, Mira, this is Rashid, and he'll be spending Christmas with us. I turned around, and there he was. 20 years ago to that day, we were meeting our host families for the year. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, loving parents, brothers, and sisters. My host father, Wade, was wearing a pair of jeans, a fleece, sweater, and a smile that lit up the entire room. Next to him was Sherry, with fiery red hair, a more subtle smile, and eyes with superb analytical abilities. And then there was little Mira, who I knew inherited her father's sense of humor from the very first day she met me, be it for a dinner, birthday, or a weekend away from the hustle and bustle of our academic life. We always went back, and following that Christmas, there were many occasions where I found myself going there and enjoying my time with my adopted brothers and sisters. First, there was Nitya, who is a very successful engineer, but at the time mesmerized us as a Bharatanatyam dancer and a superb cook. My brother Andrew, from Zimbabwe, who is now a Yale graduate of international law, was a beautiful singer and guitarist. Then there was my brother Jonas from Germany. He shared my passion for the environment and went on to Harvard and now teaches in Beijing, China, of all places on earth. We all became brothers and sisters, and we all enjoyed Nitya's cooking. My dear friends, do you often wonder what is it exactly that brings strangers together to become friends, and even deeper than that, brothers and sisters, as we say, from another mother? For the Wades, like thousands of others around the world, it is that choice. That choice to go out of your way and make someone's day a little bit better with simple things that we don't think much of at the time, but turn out to be some of the greatest blessings in life. A warm, home-cooked meal. A night of meaningful conversations. Or a warm and friendly voice to tell us that everything will be all right when it's just not our day. The great Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." On my very last day with my host family, Sherry and I were sitting on the front porch at night as I was getting ready to fly back home to Jordan. And what she told me that night resonated in my mind, and I will never forget her words. She confessed to me that at first, she herself was hesitant to host me into her home. As strange as I found that, she then told me, after she found out more about me, my family, and my life back home, and after seeing how little Mia took an instant liking to her puppy, she absolutely changed her mind. So my friends, again, what is it exactly that brings people together, strangers, to become friends and family? It is a special kind of magic. A magic that transcends borders, cultures, and traditions to bring puppies, kittens, and hamsters all together to celebrate the single most important thing in life, the fact that we are all human beings. Mr. Contest Chair.
Dying for Denzel.
How many of you would like to die? How many of you would like to end up poor? Poor. Neither do you want to die, nor do you want to end up poor. Yet, contest chair, Toastmasters, guests, good morning. Good morning. One day, I was wandering on the internet, my thoughts meandering, and I happened to read an article about a palliative nurse, Bronnie Ware. She takes care of the dying. And as she does her duties, she would talk to these people and ask them, do you have any regrets in your life? And without fail, everyone would say, I regret not living my life true to myself. That did make an impact on me. So I slowly rewinded the tape of my life. And what did I see? As I was looking, I would see a beautiful idea pop up in my mind. And I would take it I would work on it. I would explore it. And then I would get some bubble wrap it up, and put it in the attic. A few minutes later, another idea would come up. Some more bubble wrap, another collectible to my attic collection. Hey, what was I doing? I stopped. And I entered my attic. The dusky, musky smell overcome my senses. Yet I took the courage to step in. All my ideas were there. Well, most of them had already crumbled. But this one, it was still fresh. So I opened it up, got rid of all the cobwebs, and yes, this was the one. I wanted to make an app that would be linked to a backend database, bringing data to people where they need it, when they need it. It would be so amazing. And I had started working on it. But then...
We care for you, no Faisal.
23 years ago, I came to this world empty-handed. With time, I gathered countless dreams. Some inherited, some injected, and many my own dreams. Contest chair, fellow dreamers, a very good morning. Good morning. I am the 9th gem of my parents with 5 Hitler-like brothers around me. Lucky? I played and grew up with my nephews. My toys beautified the living rooms, whereas they had the craziest toys. They made me director, story writer, makeup artist, everything for the little games we played. One day, I was rolling my camera of imagination, trying to recreate Pokemon and bring characters to life for my nephews. Nuppy, that's my pet name. I'm called from the kitchen. Now, I have to recreate MasterChef and serve my family. I always wonder why. I go to school, my nephews do. I play, they play. I study, they study. I help in the kitchen and they mock at me. My dream of a helpful partner and creativity came to an end. My parents always talk about playing in the fields. They sweat sparkling under the sun, smile gleaming at the greenness. When I got out to play, do you know what they have said? Noopy, you will get tanner. Who will marry you after that? No more explorations. In grade 3, for the first time, I got on stage for folk dance. Really excited. Before getting on, the teacher said, with your dark skin, you can't win. They covered me with coats of foundations. I started losing confidence in my own skin at such a tender age. In grade 4, I was rejected from folk dance. Do you know why? Not that I refused to put on the foundation, but because I was taller and they couldn't find a match. I couldn't stand tall with pride then on. My nephews, they always win the fight. Not that I'm weak and scared, but because my mother would always intervene and say, Noopy, boys are stronger than you. You can't fight them. My strengths underestimated. And when it comes to marriage, many are victims of sympathy. Will I be blessed to see a husband before I close my eyes? One day you will be housewife. I first saw studies. She's a girl. Marry her ASAP before she does something bad. My caring brothers covered me with gold and heavy dress, that weighed me down. My educational dreams. And when a girl like me grows up,